Hello everyone, welcome back to the new segment on my channel, Jack of all trades, master of guns. You can thank Mr. Taylor here for that. He's my first guest. Do you want to say anything about yourself at all?
My name is Taylor, and I'm his first guest.
And he is my first guest, also roommate. So
That's true.
I wanted to start this segment as a way to show other ways to get healthy and other lifestyles of people going to the gym, doing fitness. So Taylor here is one of my workout partners, and he's been showing me how to do things pretty well. How long have you been going about doing this?
Well, I've been probably heavy weightlifting, like bodybuilding style, for about a year and a half. But I would say I've been working out or living a fitness lifestyle since about my senior year in high school. So about 5 years now, I guess.
Okay. And you've noticed any changes?
No.
No, not at all.
No, yeah. Yeah, when I first started, I was probably around like 140. I don't really have any body fat at all. And then now I'm at like 160, still pretty lean. So I put on probably about 20 pounds of muscle in that amount of time, which I probably could have put on more, but when I first started, I was like kind of just learning the craft, getting, you know, some beginner gains, and then I went into more of like a running type, running and like body weight fitness type mindset, and then later on was when I really started like weightlifting and trying to like get bigger, I guess. So
okay, so when did you start? What was it?
My senior year in high school.
Okay.
Are you talking about like?
Well, I guess, so were you serious about from starting then as opposed to what you're doing now?
When I started in high school, I was really just I just started going to the gym and I was lifting weights, but I really didn't know what I was doing. And my diet was just whatever, plus I was just like eating protein. Like that was pretty much it.
Right.
Like there wasn't much to my diet at all. I wasn't paying attention to it, and the lifts were all like pretty lightweight. I mean, I really didn't know, you know, volume versus, you know, heavyweight. Like I had no idea what I was doing, so I was kind of just learning how to do exercises pretty much when I first started.
So within the last year and a half, you've been really getting serious about it. So what have you been doing differently now as opposed to the first time you started in high school?
Well, now I would say I'm a lot more researched about what I do. My diet's a lot more strict now. I work out a lot harder and probably more often than I did. And it's very focused on, because there's different types. Like you can focus on powerlifting, which is just basically getting stronger, but like the strongest dudes that are power lifters just look like fat guys. Like you wouldn't be able to tell that they work out because they just look huge. And then there's like, you know, the bodybuilding types that are just getting like really swole and really cut. And they're strong too, but they're not as strong as like power lifters. Yeah. And then there's obviously just like fitness people who are just like, I just run all the time, and that's like all they do. They're not really putting on muscle. So I'm kind of in I like to go off like some other, you know, fitness YouTubers, the athletic aesthetic idea, where it's like I go for aesthetics, like I'm getting bigger, I'm getting more aesthetically a better physique, but I'm also trying to maintain athleticism and do, you know, athletic workouts, stuff like that.
Do you have any YouTuber recommendations for people?
I really follow Omar Isuf.
He's good.
Alan Thrall, he's pretty good. He's more on the powerlifting side, but like as far as like squat mechanics and like very broken down scientific approach to lifting, he's good for that. And same thing with Athlean-X, what's his name?
I don't know what his real name is, but Athlean-X.
I'm sure put it in the thing, I'll just find it out. God, I forgot his name.
David?
It's not David. Jeff Cavalier.
Jeff. Oh, okay. That's right.
Jeff Cavalier from Athlean-X. He's a really good guy. I mean, he's a little more on the like fad side. Like he definitely capitalizes on like the clickbait type stuff. Yeah. But he still has a lot of really good scientific information and like information about like how muscles are attached and learning.
Yeah, really like how he draws.
Yeah, like he'll draw
shows
himself.
The muscle. I mean, he's pretty skinny or fit, I guess, lean.
Whereas a lot of people will say like, oh, you need to lift like this. He'll explain, okay, this is how your muscle fibers connect, and this is why you can make. This is like how you can make up your own lifts.
Yeah, doing this motion
for your body to like optimize, you know, what you do.
So, would you recommend YouTubers as a good place to start if you're just learning, like to watch videos and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. That's everything I know now is I learned from. I mean, I learned a little bit from people that have taught me, but like everybody has their their bro science way, but a lot of the YouTubers that I follow are very like, we're trying to get rid of bro science and focus on actual science, and they've been doing it for a while, so they have all this information that they've learned, plus a lot of them are personal trainers, so they have tons of information to get you kind of like out of that like I'm scared, I don't know what to do mindset, really. Like,
True.
the first time you step into a gym, you're like, where do I start?
I mean, yeah, it's a little overwhelming. You have so many machines.
Yeah, and they can help get you like going.
Okay.
For sure.
So why did you start?
Why did I start? Well, when I started in high school, I started because I was planning on going into ROTC in college, and I was trying to get in shape for that. And so I started lifting, and at the time I didn't really understand, because I thought had gotten in pretty decent shape at that time, but then I kind of really didn't get that like muscles aren't equal to endurance and stuff, and like ROTC was geared a different way. So whenever I got into ROTC, it was like lots of running. Like I was running 2 miles, all the time. 5-mile runs, like all this stuff, running all the time. Yeah. Lots of push-ups, lots of pull-ups, lots of sit-ups. Like it's all like being really fit, like with what body you have now. But it wasn't about like putting on muscle really. So it's like the muscle you have there, you're just getting really good at that.
Yeah.
It's like, because their fitness test is based on your body composition, how good you are with what you have, pretty much. And so I focused on that, and so I didn't really gain any weight. I think I was like 150 pounds. I got up to 150 pounds. I remember, because when I was weighing in, I was at like 150 in like the thick of it at RTC. And then after that, I transferred to a film school, went to school there, and I was still eating like I was eating in RTC, so I gained like 10, 15 pounds, and I was like, crap, I'm fat now. So I just started running again, and then like cut all that weight, but then, I realized like, I'm kind of small, like I wanted to be bigger, I wanted to have more muscle, so then I was like, all right, I'm gonna start lifting, I'm gonna get in the gym, start building muscle. I've cut out the cardio for the most part, just because I'm on a bulk. I mean, I do cardio when I'm cutting, but like I'm bulking right now, so I really don't do much cardio, which I probably could do more, but that's more food that I have to eat, that's a whole nother can of worms.
We'll do a marathon.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I went from like a guy who was running like, I think it was like a 12:45 was like my fastest 2-mile time, to a guy who's strictly like just lifting weights, like not even like running anymore.
When was the last time you did run?
The last time I ran was probably this spring when I was cutting. I was cutting down, so I was like doing a lot of cardio then. But I mean, I was like treadmill, like I'm not running out. I mean, when I was running like tracks and like doing sprints and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't run the treadmill when I was running, so.
You're not basic?
No.
So what is continuing you to motivate you to do this?
Well, I still have weight goals and like aesthetic goals that I'm trying to reach. I'm hoping to get.
Do you want to go into those goals?
Yeah, like I'm hoping to get to around like 170 lean. Like I'm 5'8", so I'm not going to be 200 pounds. If I was, I would be fat. But like 170 lean for me I would look pretty jacked.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my overall goal. And then obviously I have actual strength goals, like getting my bench higher, getting my squat higher. Just getting like my biggest thing I've kind of been focused on right now is getting my bench up and my squat like mobility. I just really want to have a healthy lower half, because I've kind of neglected that, and then like years of running has actually just done horrible things to my lower body.
Yeah. Like
my hamstrings and quads and all that crap down there is just not right, because it's years of running and impact and not really knowing what you're doing and no one telling you what you're doing can really just jack up your joints. So I'm like really kind of had to like strip down a lot of weight and like rebuild from the ground up to get a really good mobility and healthy lower half, and so I'm working on that too. And I mean that's pretty much my goals right now. Okay. Just trying to like put on weight, stay pretty lean, and then get my lifts up.
So is that your motivation, just to be a better you?
I mean, obviously looking good is a good motivation. Like everybody likes to look good, and I mean
I'm sure that's many people's motivation.
Yeah, when you get compliments, I mean that's just like endorphins, like that's awesome, like I feel great, I want to keep going back. But now it's more like I feel satisfied from completing goals, and like for instance, like every time I go to the gym I write down all of my weights and all of my reps and sets and all that stuff. Like I have another book of like 6 months worth of workouts that I could go through. I could see, okay, when I started I was here, when I ended up I was here, and like looking in the mirror every day it's hard to tell differences, but like when you see it on paper, you're like, okay, I am actually making progress. And those little progress gains like really help me with my positivity, I guess, for just life in general, because like I have a lot of career goals that are very long, like long-term goals. I mean, they talk about like the 10-year overnight success when it comes to like business and stuff.
Yeah.
But lifting's a bit different. You get results faster, and I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, you gotta stick with it to lose weight. You gotta, stick with it for a whole year. And it's like, I'm sticking with it for 10 years in my career. But when it comes to, those short-term successes
it's
in
good
the
that
gym,
you achieve them.
Yeah, that reinforces like,
Helps.
okay, things that I do are making progress.
Yeah. Okay. So food is just as important as working out, if not more. I think the phrase is, if you want to look good with clothes on, it's in the kitchen. If you want to look good without clothes on, it's in the gym. The gym. So what do you currently do? What's your routine with eating and working out on a day-to-day basis?
My current routine is, I'm lucky enough to where I don't really have to meal prep because, we work from home, so that's really convenient. But whenever I did have a job, I was meal prepping. But basically, I eat the same thing pretty much every day, but I always cook all my food. Granted, a lot of it's frozen. Yeah. But I'm cooking it. So in the morning, I get up and I make eggs every day, regardless. Like, I'm always eating eggs. Eggs is like a given. I eat eggs and sausage, and sometimes I'll eat like a biscuit, or sometimes I'll eat like the flour tortillas or whatever. It's like I try to mix it up so it's not the same bland thing every day. And then occasionally I'll have like oatmeal or grits or something just to like mix it up. But pretty much right now I'm like high protein, and then I'm basically eating around 2,800 calories a day because I'm trying to like bulk up. So I eat that in the morning, and then I'll go to the gym around like 1 or 2, and then I'll get back, eat a protein shake, eat lunch. And then my lunch is usually like either chicken breast or like I'll cook a burger, which a lot of people are like, oh, that's not very healthy, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, there's like 50 grams of protein in that one freaking burger. And it's got a lot of calories, which helps me get to my caloric needs. And it's really not bad. Like
people say it's bad.
It's not that bad for you. Like,
no.
It's fine.
No.
For my goals, eating that's good. And then for dinner, I'll eat probably like the same thing, chicken breast or something else. But I pretty much live off of frozen meat. I eat so much freaking chicken. I've learned how to make chicken like 37 different ways, because you can only have so much frozen chicken breast before you want to blow your brains out.
You can do a lot with it though. Yeah. You can make a lot of chicken.
A lot of times I used to, I don't really do it anymore because I haven't had to, but when I was meal prepping, I would make a lot of chicken rice. That's it's a big like calorie. Like one chicken rice meal, you can get like 800 calories out of it. And it's like a whole chicken breast and just rice with like chicken broth, and it tastes good, and it's easy to heat up and portable, and it's a pretty like solid bulking meal.
It is.
So.
And like you were saying with the burger, like burger, at least without the bun, is like the perfect keto meal. It's perfect for their macros.
And milk. I drink probably a gallon of milk a week.
Looks good.
Milk has a lot of protein in it, a lot of calcium, and it's like I drink it in my protein shakes. It's like that's like the bulking drink is milk.
And you put that in all your protein shakes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drink milk for breakfast, and then I put it in my protein shake. I usually drink it in most meals, unless I'm just like feeling like really dehydrated, and I'll drink water. But I pretty much only drink water and milk and alcohol. Those are like the 3 things that I drink. I don't drink any soda unless that has alcohol.
Unless that's with alcohol.
Yeah, but usually, if you get a rum and Coke, you like half Coke, half rum. It's fine. That's only like once every 2 weeks, maybe. So
sure.
We don't keep soda in the house.
Okay.
At least I don't. You get Diet Coke occasionally, but
I haven't
in a while.
I've had. So I don't think we have anything currently.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite exercise? Like, what's your go-to at the gym? Like, what do you feel good doing?
I feel really good doing, like, I guess kind of right now, my go-to is probably pull-ups. I'm really working on my pull-ups to try to get my max up. I think my max is probably around 15 right now. I'm trying to get it up to 25. I know when I first started, my max was 6.
So you've made progress.
Yeah, I do pull-ups every day. I usually do like 80 or 90 pull-ups a day.
So
I do pull-ups every day, and I'm trying to get my pull-up max up just because I want to build a bigger back. And then obviously benching, because everybody loves the chest. And then I really like deadlifting because I feel like that's the best. Squats and deadlifts are all obviously 2 lifts that are like really good for your health, but deadlifts I just feel like, okay, like today I did 250 for 4, and I haven't done that yet.
Nice.
So I did 250 today, and I'm just like, that's like a lot more than I weigh.
Yeah.
And it's like the more, the stronger I get on my back and my hamstrings and all this stuff, like there's just the more power I'll have, because that's like core. That's pretty much from here down is all deadlifting. It requires all of this. I mean, even your shoulders too, but if you're using a lot of back, it's not really that great. But so I really like those lifts. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I switch it up to try to get better at other lifts whenever I realize something's lacking. Like when I first started, I used to shoulder press a lot because I like deltoids, and I'm like, oh, I want sweet delts, and so I shoulder press a lot, and then my delts got huge, but my chest was lagging.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, crap. So I've kind of like don't really do a lot of front delt work recently, just because I pretty much do it enough to maintain what I have. But I'm focusing
But
on
get
building
everything
my
else
chest.
to build and then expand.
And then I've increased my chest workouts, and so I do like whenever I incline, that works out front delt, and then I'll do dips, which works out front delt. So it's like it's not getting neglected, but I'm not like, yeah, I'm just gonna work shoulders all the time.
Yeah.
So sometimes you realize you gotta go back and work some other stuff because you realize you have imbalances, and it just happens. It's just the way some people's bodies work out.
So any setbacks you've had over the course of doing this the last 18 months? Like anything that, has just put you down?
I wouldn't say put me down. I mean, I kind of plateaued a little bit whenever I was in this weird zone where like I had cut down because like it was like bathing suit season, right? I cut down. I was pretty low body fat. I lost some weight on my lifts, and I was like, that was kind of sucky, but I was like, that's fine, I look awesome, so whatever. But then I wanted to start working back up to that, but I didn't really have much energy, and so kind of like trying to hit a lot of these lifts without having this energy. And then I was really kind of plateauing. Like I think I was benching 135 for like 2 or 3 months. Like I could not get past. Like I was doing it and I was repping it out, but it's just like I'm not going past that.
Yeah.
And then the past month I've gone from, I think like I did 185 like 2 days ago.
Yeah, and that was new high, right?
That was a new high, and that was like for like 4. So I could probably
a new PB.
I could probably do like 201 rep max, which is not bad. So yeah, that was really good, and the way I did that was basically I just adjusted my training to where I basically doubled my training. Because like when you first start working out, you have newbie gains.
Yeah.
And they say like you can literally just walk into a gym, look at the weight, and you're gonna get bigger. But then eventually you hit, once I hit in around the 155, 156 range, all those beginner gains were gone.
Yeah.
So it's like now my body's accustomed to it, so I have to really work hard. And so basically I just doubled my volume. Like I was doing more volume of everything, 8 to 12 reps of every exercise I did, not really focusing on strength as much as just volume, pure volume. And that actually pure volume focus raised up, one, I'm getting bigger, I'm gaining weight, but also it raised up my lifts on a lot of my exercises. So pretty much just whenever I hit the wall, I kind of just had to step back, readjust, and then push forward. You're not really gonna have linear progress. You're gonna have more of a step progress.
So any advice that you give to someone out there that is trying to overcome either the obstacles you faced or just wanting to get into lifting weights?
I think the best advice is don't let your ego get in the way. Because a lot of people, they'll go into the gym and they see these dudes lifting like a lot of weight, and it's the first time they're embarrassed. Or they're like, oh, I'm not that strong, I'm not that big. And so they'll like get discouraged and leave. And that's not the way to do it. Or in addition to that, the same thing is like you start getting those gains and you're like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And then you start putting on weight and you're just like half repping, 300 pounds in the squat rack. Like that doesn't do anything for you. Like it feeds your ego. You're like, oh, look at all this weight. And you can tell your friends, yeah, I squat, 225, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, for quarter reps. And that's not doing anything for you. Like I think one of the biggest things I did was in order to fix my squat mobility, I changed from like a low bar kind of like parallel squat to a high bar ass to grass squat, and I took like 80 pounds off my squat, and that was a big like hit to me like mentally, because I'm like, I look like a noob again because I can't squat anything. Like,
you now have the right form.
I have really good form now, and my mobility is getting a lot better, and it feels good. Like my legs feel a lot better than they did when I first switched. I was like, I had no mobility at all. And so kind of just getting over that ego thing and realizing this is actually the better path to take. And so eventually, you know, hopefully one day I'll be squatting like 300 pounds ass to grass. That's a lot more impressive than the dude who's squatting 300 pounds, you know, quarter repping. So that's what I would say. Don't let your ego get in the way of getting gains.
So if you have a question for Taylor, leave it in the comments. And as everyone knows, I have my own hashtag, which is Make Fat Extinct. If you had to have a hashtag, what would it be? Ooh,
like what would I put on my Instagram?
Yeah, like what would you put on your Insta fit
which
pic?
I don't have.
He does.
I do not. Hashtag forever small, because that's how I feel every time I step into the gym. Horrible insecurities now. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
I mean, everyone deals with body insecurity.
That's true.
Men and women.
It's funny, like whenever you first start working out and you get beginner gains, you're like, oh dude, I'm so jacked. But then like you get used to it and you're like,
why am I not getting
I look normal now, not big compared to what I was, but you just have to like take it in perspective.
The pump. Get that pump.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Taylor.
Thank you.
This is what it is.
Oh, you gotta look at your bicep. Yeah, there you go.
All right, thanks, man.